How would it feel to finally land an appointment setting role that was paying you $200 a day effortlessly, right? And not some scraps with some terrible lead flow and a terrible commission structure, something that was consistent with good lead flow and was consistently making you $200 a day. Well, in this video, I'm going to run you through how one of my clients, Anas, and a personal friend, right, came to me after struggling to find a role for 9 months, 9 straight months of struggling to land a good role, getting on cold calling roles where the payment structures weren't that great, DM setting roles where the payment structures weren't that great. And he was kind of on the verge of giving up until he found me, right? And we worked together for a good, I think it was 3 weeks. And we managed to get him a role with, I'm not going to say the name of the person, but it's a very, very high-end person, high-end company in this entire space of the whole online coaching space. And he's now making $200 a day effortlessly, right? And the reason why is because he didn't have the right strategy to finding a role beforehand. Okay, he didn't have the right guidance, didn't know what he was looking for, didn't know what he was doing. And that is exactly how we helped him. So I'm going to show his results on screen, right? And I'm also going to explain how he did it and how you can start doing the same thing, because there's so many mistakes that he was making, that I was making when I first started, which stopped me from getting a role that I wanted, and also what you're probably making right now, okay? I'm gonna highlight the painful truth for you guys so you can stop making these mistakes right now. Number one is volume, right? It really is a volume game in this industry. However, caveat to that, is volume, but sending out crap at mass isn't really gonna get you anywhere. It has to be good volume what you're sending out, okay? You can't just be sending out crap, like crap, for example, job applications, crap pitches, crap messages. Like, it's a volume game, but you have to get that dialed in first, okay? You have to have a good pitch, a good like structure of how you're presenting yourself, and then just thinking, right, that now that's in place, now that's good, I'm standing out, following up on every single platform I can find on. When I find the position, I comment this keyword setter, I message them directly, I explain how I can help. I send them a personalized video, I follow up on every single platform, I find their email, I scrape it with a scraping tool, I email them, I find their phone number if I can, I give them a call, I do everything, okay? I'm everywhere, right? And then I'm just gonna keep doing that at mass. That's how you do it, guys, okay? You need to really stand out, okay? You need to have a good structure, right? To stand out massively, show how you can help, highlight the pain point, how you're gonna solve it, have this good strategy, and then send volume, right? This is the thing, you guys, you think that you're just gonna send out 10 messages, right? And then you're gonna land a role really quickly. If you're gonna land a role really quickly after 10 messages without refining your process and knowing exactly what you're doing, you're gonna land a role that isn't paying you very much money, okay? So number one is volume and having a good approach, okay? So just volume once you've got a good approach. Just sending out like 30 per day minimum, right? 30. I do like 100 per day if I possibly could, right? When I was first trying to land my first ever role, I was sending out, oh my God, I was sending out like so many, like 40, 50 a day, right? And I was standing out every single one. I was recording personalized videos. This is the thing that you guys need to understand. Like, if you were trying to land a job or a role, right, in the real world, in like a 9-to-5 realm, right, if you needed a job bad, you wouldn't just give up after 7 applications. You'd keep going. Why? Because you need a job. So it's no different with this, okay? So that's number one, is volume with a good approach. Now, number two is having your expectations set straight, okay? Because a lot of you guys have been told online by other gurus that you can make 10K a month with appointment setting. I've hit 10K a month with appointment setting. It's not easy to do as a beginner, right? It's not easy to do at all, right? You have to have several roles at once that are all really good, and you have to have a good like time structure. When you see these people saying they're teaching setters to make 10K a month and they did it in their first month, ignore it. It's not true. I'm telling you now, guys, right? Have some real expectations. When you see people going, my client hit 10K in 2 months, he didn't. I'm telling you now, 10K with appointment setting is hard to achieve in the first couple of months. You can do it. I'm not saying you can't. But you can't do it that quickly, okay? Especially with no experience. This is what a lot of people say online. Oh, my client hit 10K a month with appointment setting in 2 months with my help. No, he didn't. I'm sorry, right? I'm probably going to piss off a lot of people, a lot of my competitors that may watch this, but he didn't, right? They didn't hit 10K that quick, especially as complete beginners. It's BS, ignore it, okay? Have your expectations straight. So when you first get into it, when you're first trying to land a high ticket role, don't be thinking in your mind, high ticket has to be 10K a month. High ticket is 2.5K, 3K a month, right? Just be thinking, like, I honestly started off thinking, if I can just replace my job income with this would be amazing, right? So that's the kind of expectations you need to have. Just be like, look, I need to make the money I'm making from my job, from my phone with appointment setting. And then you have the right expectations and you actually get results, because you're not going to start beating yourself up for not landing a 10K a month role straight off the bat, okay? Now, the next point is not knowing how to vet offers. This is really important. So if you don't know how to vet offers and see if they're legit, you're going to get on, for example, a pay per sale role, which I'm always a little bit iffy about. If you're ever going to do pay per sale, the company has to be dynamite, right? The company you're working with has to have really good lead flow, really good offer, successful setters in the past on that payment structure, and realistic OTE, right? Which is on track earnings. If you ever do pay per sale, right, the company has to be dialed in. I'm not saying it doesn't work. You have to be really, really like cautious of what you're looking at and who you work with if you ever do a pay per sale role, because there's just so many variables to it. For example, like, you know, you're not responsible for the lead closing or showing up to the call. All you can do is book in the call. So to be paid for something that's not in your control isn't fair. But if you're on a really good offer that has got good lead flow, good sharp rate, good closing rate, proof of successful setters in the past, and they're happy and they're making good money, then that's the only time I recommend to do it. But if you don't vet an offer that way and you accept a pay per sale role with a brand new company that has got ridiculous OTE, for example, let's say 3 to 5K a month, they say, right? You've got to be careful of this. 3 to 5K a month, but it's a brand new company. They've got no lead flow. It's all cold outreach. Nobody, they signed 2 clients. They haven't really got any testimonials, and they want you to come in on a pay per sale role with a 3 to 5K OTE. What that means, right? Their OTE on an offer like that means if you can hit our impossible standards, then you'll make 3 to 5 grand a month. And that could mean if you can book us 100 appointments, even though we've got no lead flow, no one wants our offer, we can't actually do what we say we can do, right? Our offer isn't validated, we haven't got any results. If you can somehow magically book 100 appointments that show up and close, you can make 3 to 5K a month. OTE is such a dodgy little thing you have to be careful of, right? So Anas, for example, was getting on roles that had these OTEs, had these, like, you know, pay per sale terms, but he wasn't vetting the offer properly. Therefore, he was getting on the offer and not making as much money as he wanted to, right? He was scraping on by, but putting in loads of work. So knowing how to vet the offer is so important. If you ever do pay per sale, guys, please vet the offer first, because otherwise, sometimes it's a way to get free work out of you. Right? If you don't vet the offer, you're not with a credible company. Sometimes pay per sale is a way to get work out of you, free work out of you, right? So just be very, very careful. Learn how to vet offers. And my final point to round all of this off, go on an offer where the pain point is massive, right? Don't be getting on roles where, like, for example, the price point is 1.5K and they teach people how to draw pictures of cats. Like, you need to make good money in this space, you need to be selling something that has a high pain point, and for example, the solution is solving that big pain point, okay? So it's a massive relief. The only reason people ever buy anything in this space, right, or wanna, like, for example, in your case, book an appointment, is to fix a problem that is causing them a lot of pain. So don't get on roles where it's like, I teach people how to draw pictures of cats and we sell it for 1.5K and we haven't closed anyone yet. Like, Jesus, like, just come on, man, right? You need to find a role, for example, like, I help struggling business owners solve the biggest bottlenecks in their company. I help them with client acquisition. I help them with content creation. I help overweight dads quit their drinking addiction so they can spend more time with their family and rebuild their connections. I'm trying to think of, like, big pain points. So it's normally health, wealth, and relationships are the 3 pillars. Okay, so health, so like fitness coaching, I help overweight dads lose weight. Obviously the pain point doesn't sound that high, but you can go deeper on that. You can say, for example, the person that you're working with will have it like that anyway. They have it framed in like a more painful way. Overweight dads, it could be like overweight dads that are on the brink of losing their, you know, in the brink of, like, destroying their marriage and having time for their kids. I hope you get in shape so you can rebuild all your connections. That's a big pain point. Help people stop drinking. Let's say it's a CEO that has got an alcohol addiction. His relationships on the line, his family are, you know, worried about him. His business is on the line. If he doesn't fix it, he's going to lose everything. That's a big pain point. Or relationships. Again, it could be like your marriage or your friendships are cooked, right? You're in a bad situation with your love life. And if you don't fix, you know, these things in your relationship, you're going to lose the love of your life and the mother of your children, right? So these are big pain points. And if the person you're working with is helping solve that problem, normally it's a high ticket offer because they're solving a big pain point. If it's a high ticket offer, you can get on it and expect to make a decent bit of money, right? Don't be getting on roles where, like, there's no pain point. I help people draw pictures of cats. If it doesn't have a big pain point, hasn't got a big price point, right? You would never get on a roll without a good price point, because if you don't get on a roll with a big price point, then you're not going to make enough money as a result, okay? Because you're going to be paid based on how much they make as a company. And if they've got small margins and small prices, then you're going to be paid basically nothing, okay? So keep that in mind. I taught those things to Anas, right? And we showed him a little bit more in depth the strategy on how to do it. He landed a role with a very, very high-end company. He's now making $200 a day while being at uni, which I'm pretty sure is more than his lecturers, which is ridiculous. He's like 19 years old and he's making like 2-3K a month, right? From appointment setting, from his phone, more than his lecturers on his uni degree. He's in lessons, DMing people, coming out, and he's made like 150 quid. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you want an in-depth video showing you a little bit more about the process, okay, and how to build a good strategy to send out more volume and how to actually vet roles, then just comment down below. But if you want me to go even deeper for you specifically, right, and help you land high-ticket roles in the appointment setting space, by the way, I've done it several times. I've mastered the art of landing high-ticket roles. I've worked with people like Charlie Morgan and William Brown. I've generated well over $1.2 million for my clients and seen well over 6 figures of that for myself. So if you want to learn how to do that, right, and have a similar trajectory, I am going to leave a link down below in the description. Okay, there's going to be a link to book and a call with me. If you want to have a chat and see how it works, then book it in. But if you don't want to be sold to, then don't book it, because full transparency, if you book in that call, I will try and sell you something, okay? So if you don't want to be sold to, don't click it. But if you're serious about making this work and landing a high ticket role and stop working for scraps as a setter, and you want to make this your full-time gig like I have, then click on that link, right, book in a call, and I'll show you exactly how I can help.
Just a quick video here about Aiden and SetterLab. First of all, Aiden, what a guy. His constant help, constant keeping me in the loop, and just the feedback that he gave me has been out of this world. When it comes to SetterLab, I can't put it into words how like amazing the resource in there was. But yeah, I've been looking for an appointment setting role for a very long time, and I was struggling to land one. I came across Aiden and asked for his help, and you know, he's pointing me in the right direction. I was able to land a very, very, very good role. And yeah, the numbers that I've made has been generally, I'm still trying to process it. 1K hasn't even reached first 10 days of the month. Didn't even reach half of the month yet, and you know, I just didn't think it was possible, but with the right systems that were provided from Aiden, it was definitely possible, and I can't thank him enough, and I really, really recommend it for anyone who's looking into appointment setting.